Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the United Stand. Top four or bust is the thumbnail you can see, and pretty much I'm going to be giving you. I mean, there's lots to get into, but the main headline and the topic of discussion is going to be my thoughts around kind of this top four situation that we're obviously, I want to say, finding ourselves in, right? And a lot of pundits, a lot of ex players, even just kind of rival fans, and even just my friends that support other teams, right? They would have never expected Manchester United to be in the position that they are in currently, which and let's be real, like it's not even the greatest position to be in, but it is a strong position, right? You know, we've got 2 games left until the World Cup. I believe it is Aston Villa, that is in the Premier League, obviously, Aston Villa and Fulham. Games which we should really be going into comfortably and securing another 3 points, getting 6, and gaining some more points on the leaders and obviously the places that are above us. But other things we're going to talk about today is also Marcus Rashford, with the possibility of him getting a new contract. Obviously, I want to go into some stats and delve in a little bit into, you know, his performance over, well, since he started his senior career at Manchester United. There's also a little bit of news on the likes of Moises Caicedo as well. We've been told a fee, apparently, of you know how much it's going to be to snap him up. Obviously, we were interested in the summer, and also a little bit on Jeremy Frimpong. I always going to say Jeremy Frimpong and Max Aarons as well. We can delve into a comparison between those two. But to get it started, guys, in all honesty, welcome in. By the way, welcome in. I appreciate everyone for joining the show. Yeah, to start things off, I think at the start of the season, Manchester United and the majority of fans would have said that Manchester United were not expected, or none of us were really expecting to get top four. A lot of fans and a lot of people associated, not even necessarily associated with the club, right? Just you know, a lot of people who are out there who support Manchester United would have been expecting, not settling, but expecting a fifth, sixth, seventh. You know, some people even throwing out there like after the first 2 games, especially an 8th, 9th, 10th place finish, which would have been obviously horrific. But we obviously find ourselves in this current situation now, and obviously you can see the Premier League table on going on your screen right now, and you can see that we find ourselves in 5th at the minute, 23 points overall. We've obviously just overtaken Chelsea, obviously beaten West Ham. Good result. Unfortunately, wasn't the best of performances, but look, at the end of the day, we don't win that type of football game last season. And Eric Ten Hag has done ever so well to change the mentality and everything. So, yeah, I mean, look, you got what, Newcastle, Tottenham, Man City, and Arsenal all sitting ahead of us. We do have a game in hand on Newcastle and Spurs. I don't believe we play that game until the January of next year, maybe February next year, something. Because obviously we lost out on, I believe, the Palace and Leeds game due to, unfortunately, the Queen's passing, I believe. But yeah, look, basically, I think, in my opinion, the kind of consensus and the thoughts around top four for me now is, if we weren't expected to get it at the start of the season, and yes, you look at Liverpool's downfall at the minute. I don't want to say too much. I don't want it to come and bite me in the bum. But yeah, look, Liverpool aren't having the greatest start to the season. 4 wins, 4 draws, 4 losses, 16 points after 12 games. Obviously, we're 7 points ahead of them, and you know, we find ourselves in a pretty good situation to be in, definitely considering the first 2 games. Obviously, Brighton and Brentford, horrific. As I say, a lot of people would have had us down to I mean, I did, if we were going to carry on playing the way, you know, we were playing then. Obviously, this is before Anthony was brought in, Casemiro was brought in. So yeah, it wasn't a good situation to be in. But I think now that, you know, because we're now in this comfortable, no, it's not even a comfortable position, right? You know, everything can change week on week, but I think the fact that we're in a much better situation than we were at the start of the season, and a lot of people, players, etc., wouldn't have had us down to finish in the top 4. Why should we now put that extra pressure on us to finish in the top 4? Obviously, there is pressure. We do want to finish in the top 4. We want to get the Champions League places, because obviously that then entices new players, the likes of Bellingham, you know, De Jong, etc. We want to go out and sign these these ridiculously talented players, because that will overall improve the talent in the team, and hopefully the results therefore as well. So, but for me, because we know basically everyone wrote us off, right? And everyone, and you guys can let me know in the comments, of course, as well, is how many of you guys actually, we'll do a poll. We'll do a poll first thing. We'll do a poll. How many of you guys, I don't know how to phrase this, but basically, how many of you expected at the start of the season for us to get top 4 or be outside of the top 4? Something like that. We can do something like that. But for me, and look, I don't want to come across the wrong way. I do definitely think top 4 is achievable this season. I don't want to get it twisted. Don't. It is definitely going to be difficult. I still do think that Liverpool can have this big bounce back and achieve, have almost the big turnaround. They could definitely win 4 or 5 games in a row, and other teams around them can drop points, and obviously they can get themselves back amongst it. But I think there you go. Poll is available there. Do you expect Manchester United to get top 4 at the start of the season? Simple yes or no. It'd be interesting to get your guys' thoughts on that. I think for me, it was definitely a no, 100%. Yeah, Jay Football saying there at the start of the season, I thought we'd finish 7th. I mean, I wasn't far off. I do think I said 6th or 7th. And that shows kind of what wonders Erik ten Hag is kind of working at Manchester United. And I do think that if we are to get top 4, I don't want it to be downplayed. I want it to be seen as, and not obviously we want to win trophies. We want to win the Champions League. We want the Premier League, or all these different things. But I do want to see that us achieving, if we do achieve that top 4 place, that is an achievement for Erik ten Hag, right? Because at the start of the season, no one thought we were going to get it. I guarantee if you were to have asked Arsenal, City, Tottenham, Chelsea, Liverpool, even the likes of West Ham, Newcastle, Brighton, all these different fans, if we were going to be in with a shout at top 4, comfortably, they would have all said no, because we were rubbish. We were rubbish last season, obviously under Solskjaer, the little bit under Carrick, and then obviously Ranić as well. We were rubbish. We were rubbish. And now, and this is the big thing for me, and I'll keep saying it until I turn blue. The progress that we're showing, and it's not just, as I say, you can win games of football and be really lucky, and Man United have done it many a time before, where you play rubbish and you still win the game of football, just as you can play really well and lose a game of football, right? But I just think the progress that this team has shown in terms of the fight, even take away the tactical kind of side of things, that's naturally obviously going to come under a new manager, new tactics. But the fight, the willingness to go out there and win your individual battles, everything like that, and obviously the new Martinez who's been brought in, Casemiro, Anthony, just the passion, and you have that reconnect with the fan base. It is honestly, it's unbelievable. It's brilliant. And as someone who obviously is lucky enough to go to a few games here and there, it's brilliant to see. It's honestly brilliant to see, because you compare that to last season, and the players will go around and clap and stuff, and the fans are booing. It's just not the relationship that you want to have with them, right? It isn't ideal, and that's kind of my saying. It's not ideal, but yeah, I mean, look, for me, top 4 is 100% achievable. Whether we get it or not is a completely different story. Obviously, the thumbnail does say top 4 or bust, and look, you never quite know. And again, this is a situation. What do you guys think? Would you rather go for that top 4 place, or would you rather make the priority the Europa League and winning that? In all honesty, I mean, look, I think I maybe sway a little bit towards winning the Europa League just because it's a trophy. Other than that, it's a difficult situation. I think top 4 is a great achievement and would be a great achievement. Even the point at Newcastle a point against Newcastle, when we obviously should have won that game. Marcus Rashford with the header at the end. You look back at it and it's not a bad point considering the form they're in, right? I think they've only lost 1 game. They have drew a lot, but it's an exciting time to be a Manchester United fan, right? A very, very exciting time. And I think for me, I was obviously lucky enough to witness, and I'm sure a lot of you guys were as well. But there's going to be a lot of Manchester United fans out there, possibly even watching this, who have, for the most part, when they've been a Manchester United fan, they haven't seen the Manchester United success, right? And that I can only imagine that being, you know, that being pretty crap, in all honesty. And I just think that it's an exciting time to be a Manchester United fan, but we've got to remember, as soon as it goes up, as soon as it can come down, right? And look, it is a rebuild at the end of the day. I do think we need to go and spend money in January. I do think we need to go and spend money next summer and the summer after that to keep going. You know, there's a light year between the likes of us and Manchester City. And, you know, weirder things have happened. I'm not saying Manchester United are going to win the league anytime soon, but weirder things have happened. Leicester have won it. Why can't Manchester United? But, you know, you've got to be one hell of a consistent team, in my opinion. And it's just a big ask. But to round this kind of top four topic up, I do think that it's definitely achievable. I'll quickly check what the poll says. Yeah, see, 55% of you guys have said that you didn't expect Manchester United to get top four at the start of the season, which is completely fair enough. I didn't. But now what do we think? Do we think that, and again, get your comments in, do we think that Manchester United should be getting top four? Take note of the wording there. Should be. Not, you know, if we will or not, but do you think in this current situation right now, do you think we should be getting top four? Obviously, Chelsea are a little bit shaky. Liverpool, obviously, sitting in ninth. And I mean, maybe it's because I'm not a Liverpool fan, but I don't feel like they're being spoken about enough. But again, maybe this because I don't surround myself in that kind of, you know, around, you know, Liverpool fans, etc. I just don't kind of hear it. But I feel like if we were ninth, you'd definitely be hearing about it in social media. Like 100%, everyone would be onto us. We'd be, you know, the talk of the town, as they say, and we'd be the laughing stock. But yeah, quick poll here: should Manchester United now get top four? I'm actually still going to vote no. I'm still going to vote no. Maybe that's just me being pessimistic. I don't think you should. You know, I don't think, because especially at this early stage, right? We've only played 12 Premier League games. I just don't think at this early on you should say we should be getting top four. I definitely think, again, it is achievable. Obviously, this is a complete anomaly of a season. The World Cup's coming up in a completely random point of the season. We've obviously got the January transfer window, which I actually think is going to be like a summer transfer window, like a mini one. And because, you know, you never know what's going to be, injuries, etc. I just think it's going to be such an interesting time to not only be a Manchester United fan, but be a football fan as well. I think it's going to be great. Top four depends on January transfer. Erik ten Hag will demand top four, and this is the thing, right? If Erik ten Hag is demanding top four, I mean, this is what he's got to drill into the players, right? First off, it's got to be demanding top four, and then obviously you kind of kick on from there. There's no point, if we are to get top four this season, there's no point regressing, and the next season, you know, find ourselves out the top four. You've got to, and it doesn't have to go, this year we finish in the top four, next season we win the league. It doesn't, that's kind of unrealistic. You've got to have slow progress, right? And I think for me, it is, yeah, 79% of you there say Manchester United should get top four. It's interesting. But it's definitely achievable, guys. 100,000%. Definitely achievable. But we can move on now to speak about Marcus Rashford. We could bring a tweet up on screen as well from on the United Stands Twitter. Give the page a follow if you aren't already. But it's coming in from Chris Wheeler. MUFC will secure Marcus Rashford's future before the end of the year to fend off interest from rival clubs. However, it could be difficult to agree a new contract before the World Cup, particularly if he's selected for the World Cup. Now, a lot to kind of delve into on this topic, really. Marcus Rashford is obviously having a very good start to the season, but again, there's a long way to go. He could not score right for the rest of the season, and everyone will say he's had a stinker. But I think for me, the big key factor in this is he's obviously playing really well, and he says he's in a completely different headspace, which is obviously brilliant. You want to be in the right headspace in order to play football. And you could tell, I think, last season that he just wasn't himself. He wasn't happy. I don't think, in all honesty, I just don't think he was happy. And I think the fact with a lot of these Manchester United players, less so the new guys coming in, but the likes of Martial, Sancho, Rashford, especially, these guys are all confidence players. And obviously, the more you play, the more they score, assist, etc., the more the team wins. That confidence builds up, and it's something that these players have, thrive on. And Marcus Rashford is scoring at the minute. He's our top goal scorer. I believe he's got 7 goals and something like 3 assists in all competitions, which is obviously really good. He's obviously improved on his numbers already from last season, and it's something I do want to go into is his numbers actually. And I actually saw a clip on TikTok talking about unpopular football opinions, and it basically says that Marcus Rashford, I can't remember the phrase, but it was Marcus Rashford has only, he's had one off season since obviously starting his senior career in, I think it was under Van Gaal, wasn't it, in like 2015-16. And we can go back and look at the numbers. So in his first season as a senior Manchester United player, he scored 8 goals and got 2 assists, so 10 goal involvements. And then for the next 1, 2, 3, 4, and for the next 5 years, this is in all competitions, by the way. For the next 5 years, he scored 10 plus goals. So in 16-17, he scored 11. Then he went on to score 13 again, 22 and 21 goals. And his assists got better as well, 7, 9, 10, 12, 15. So pretty good progression, if you ask me. Pretty good progression. And then obviously he had in last season, he obviously had 5 goals and 2 assists. And that was obviously the season where he divided opinion. A lot of people were very keen on selling him or, not renewing his contract. And there was obviously some interest from whether it was true or not. There was a lot of paper talk around Manchester United selling Rashford to PSG, Paris Saint-Germain, right? A lot of people were keen on that. I wasn't. I just think Marcus Rashford, I just think he can be that. And I'm not saying he's going to go on to be like Man United's all-time leading goal scorer, etc. No, I just don't think that's going to happen. There were some pundits actually a couple of years ago saying that he could be interesting, but I just think he can be that guy. I just think he can be, a very, very good player for Manchester United, and I think he has been a good player for Manchester United. Just football is obviously very heavily recency bias, and it's very easy to look back at, last season, 7 goal contributions in however many games is not ideal, but he's played something like nearly 320 games for Manchester United, scoring and assisting, so a combined goal contribution of 161. So that actually amounts at like a 0.506 goal contributions per game. So basically, every other game he's getting a goal or assist in the 318 games that he has played, right? Which, if you ask me, is pretty good. That is pretty good. And you can actually, I saw a tweet a couple of weeks ago. If you look at his stats against the big 6, so like City, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, he's shown he's quite a big game player and he likes scoring in those big affairs, big games, right? Which is really, really good, which is what you want. And it's what you have kind of come to expect. I think he's a really positive player. And when he's on it, he is on it. And that's why I find it a little bit difficult when people compare him and Jadon Sancho. They're very, very different types of wingers. Marcus Rashford is very, very directional and very in behind, whereas Jadon Sancho is very ball retention and kind of progressing the ball up the pitch slowly, which can be kind of misconstrued into him always passing back all the time or making the easy pass. And a lot of people, I understand it can be quite hard to, I mean, look, Marcus Rashford, when he's on his day, I remember what was it, the game last season I went to watch in the Champions League against Atalanta, and we were losing 2-0 at half time. It was an awful game, but Marcus Rashford just came back from his injury and he looked unreal. He looked so good. He was so direct, so quick in behind, and I thought, this guy's on it. This guy's on it when he comes back. He's going to be so good. And then, yeah, he dropped a stinker and it was awful. So, yeah, I mean, look, for me, Marcus Rashford, I think the contract talks definitely need to happen. I 100% keep him at the club. I know that's going to divide opinion, but it needs to be the right contract. It doesn't need to be a huge bumper contract. I'm not too sure in terms of. We can actually have a look now. If I just type in like Rashford weekly salary, Manchester United, I don't actually know what he's actually on. We can look at here. Bear with me. Okay, it's not working. You guys can let me know in the chat. What do we reckon roughly Marcus Rashford is on a week? He's got to be on. He's got to be like pushing like 200, 250 maybe even more. And that's the touchy subject when it comes to contract negotiations, right? It seems that at the minute a lot of players who are coming to the end of contracts or who are wanting new contracts, De Gea, Dalot, and obviously Rashford as well, are playing pretty good. So it's whether you put them on these huge new contracts because they're playing well at the at this point in time, or there you go. A lot of people are saying it's divided actually 250, 300, 200. I'm not too sure in all honesty what he's on, but I'd say it's anywhere. Okay, apparently he's on 240,000 euros a week. So what's that? About 200,000, yeah, 200 grand a week. So yeah, I mean, look, it's a ridiculous amount of money, right? And it's look, if we put him on the new contract, it'll definitely be. I mean, look, he's just turned 25, so it'll definitely be a 5-year deal. You're even seeing some teams do like 6, 7. Well, I mean, West Ham tried to put Declan Rice. I don't even was it a 7-year deal or a 10-year deal or something like that. So yeah, look, I'd say it'd definitely be a 4 to 5-year contract, and I'd say if he's on 200 grand, £200,000 a week, he'll definitely be getting an increase of probably like 50 grand a week minimum. And this is the touchy subject for people: is do we? Because I mean, it shouldn't be a risk. You shouldn't look at it like a risk, right? But do we just go out there and give him that pay rise, that bumper pay rise for 5 years, secure him, and he then hope that he doesn't go off the boil and hope that he can be the Manchester United player that succeeds for the next 5 years and be an incredibly great player. But a lot of people are going to disagree with that. A lot of people, there you go, poll on the screen as well, guys, get involved. How long would you extend Rashford's contract for? 3, 4, 5 years? That'll be interesting to see what you guys think. For me, it would definitely be a 4 or 5 year deal. But I just Manchester United for more than the reason that he's a great footballer are not going to want to sell him, right? He is literally the epitome of Manchester United. He came through the youth and he's been at Manchester United since he was like 7 years old or something like that. Really, really young, right? And he's made his way through every single level and is a great football player. And I just think yeah, I'm going to look at some of your comments here actually. 4 years and trade him on the 4th year if he's not performing. 5-year deal, 4-year contract with no guarantee to start. To be interesting because realistically, how much money could you get for Marcus Rashford in this market, right? I'm not sure what he's got left on his contract. I imagine we've got the like the same with Diogo Dalot. We've got the option to extend the contract as well. That's a new thing. That's obviously putting in contracts is you kind of have a 5-year deal and then you have the club has the option to extend for an extra year, which obviously gives you that kind of leeway to hold their value as well as give them, they can't just like wander off basically, because I think clubs can approach a player when they've got like 6 months or so left remaining on their contract. That's when clubs can kind of approach them to then go on a free and kind of pen agreements, etc. Mark says Rashford is 65, 75 million. It's weird because the current market is obviously so. I mean, obviously there's going to be a constant rise in footballers' prices, right? A lot of people saying here sell him to PSG. I just don't agree with it. I just think I don't know if I find it hard because I've literally, well, same as everyone, we've watched him play for Manchester United for 7 seasons, I think, and he's been a very good player for the majority of that. And I know he's obviously got some nicknames over the past year or so, Trashford, all that lot. But no, I just think to round off my point, I think the contract does need to be given to him. But again, there should be some stipulations involved in terms of we shouldn't just go if he's on 200, we shouldn't just go here goes 350. We've got to be sensible about it. But again, Ronaldo's on what 500k a week. If he obviously is to be sold or moved on in January, whatever. whatever that is the case with that, I just think that, you know, he's maybe his wage is then distributed to the likes of De Gea, Dalot, Rashford, etc., and given the bonuses. I'm not sure. We'll have to wait and see. But now we can move on and touch a little bit on the Moises Caicedo. We can bring another tweet up on screen. This is from the Sunday Mirror via the Manchester Evening News. United have been told they must pay £85 million to snap up Moises Caicedo from Brighton. Now, this is absolutely ludicrous. If anyone agrees with this, give your head a wobble. It's ridiculous. Manchester United should never in a million years be paying 85 million. And I actually think this is a load of waffle. I honestly think it is. There's not a chance that they can value Caicedo at 85 million. No, it can't. Like, how? They paid something like 5 or 6 million for him. And yes, I'm aware that Manchester United should have gone out and we were given the opportunity to go and get him for a similar fee, and we obviously chose not to. Let's look over that. If we even consider going and getting this guy, and I'm not saying he's a great footballer, I think he'd be a good addition to our midfield. But if we even consider getting this guy for more than 40 million, and that's even a push. If we even consider getting this guy for 40 million, it's ludicrous. It is absolutely ludicrous. Manchester United, that 40 million, you know, that 40 million on he's 20, I think. He signed for Brighton at something like 18, went on loan, and then this is, you know, his almost like breakthrough season, I guess, or breakthrough full season. There we go, get my words out. I just think 85 million is, it's ridiculous. And you know, we paid a similar fee. We paid a similar fee for Anthony, right? And we're all saying that's ridiculous. There you go, poll on the screen. Are you crazy? If the "Are you crazy" doesn't get nearly 90%, yeah, are you crazy? That needs 90% of the votes right there. Are you crazy? It's turning me crazy just thinking about it. 85 bloody million pounds for Moises Caicedo. And I understand what they're doing here, right? They want to make him untouchable. They can see him being obviously a very good footballer for them. But yeah, 85 mil. And this, you know what scares me the most is I guarantee Manchester United will be going, oh, 85. That's cheaper than what we thought. We might be able to go and get him. That's the scary thing. Is we're just idiots. We're just idiots. I know that's the matter. Yeah, I mean, there's a few comments coming in here. 28 million and a Kit Kat. A Kit Kat specifically. What about a Twix? Or, you know, what about an Aero? What about them? Man United FC tax. I mean, look, you know, we need to try and move away, and we need to, within the transfer market, we need to move away from these types of, you know, the tax and everything is so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. But 85 million quid, I genuinely can't get over it. And I don't even know what else there actually is to say. But I mean, you look back a couple of years ago, we could have gone and got him. But I will say, obviously, that doesn't mean he would have then obviously been given the game time and been the player that he is today if he obviously was to have signed for us. There's obviously a lot of if, buts, and maybes, but it's all, you know, hindsight at the end of the day. The highest offer I would offer for him would be 28 million, very specific. But yeah, I mean, look, obviously it's going to divide opinion. A crunchy, yeah, or a crunchy. Drug test Brighton, obviously on something. Well, I mean, 85 million is a large sum of money, but it's incredible. But last period of the show, I want to spend a good 10-15 minutes touching on this, guys. And obviously, there's reports coming out at the minute, and we can bring this up on screen. Bayer Leverkusen's Jeremy Frimpong has been identified as a potential transfer for January. I think we know about that already. However, Ten Hag's side are reportedly facing competition from Chelsea. Interesting. Therefore, Max Aarons of Norwich could be an alternative target who's valued at 10 million. Now, I do want to get another quick poll on the screen. In the comments. Just a simple one. Max Aarons or Jeremy Frimpong, which one would you guys prefer? Before I kind of delve into various bits and bobs with stats and obviously my kind of preference on this. yeah, we'll quickly get that up on screen. But yeah, interesting. Obviously, Max Aarons is someone that's been linked not only to Manchester United before, but obviously to other Premier League clubs. I believe Arsenal have been kind of linked with him throughout the years. And why hasn't he? Why hasn't he been? Why hasn't he gotten a move to the Premier League? Right? Can he be that good of a player? I know a lot of people are going to be interested in Max Aarons. I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying that, you know, he's a young, exciting player, and I feel like he's been around for ages. That's the weird thing. I feel like he's actually been around for ages. I feel like the positive about both of these players is they're young, exciting. They do play different, obviously, roles in terms of that right back position. Now the poll is, I mean, it's not going to change, is it? Frimpong's got 87% of the vote. Aaron's picking up the remaining 13. I think there's one thing to consider, right? Obviously, it's no doubt in my mind we need another right back. A lot of people in the comments I'm seeing, Ethan Laird, etc. He's obviously out on loan at the minute. He's having quite a good loan spell. And Frimpong would be my personal preference if we were to go in for, or I had kind of the pick of both of them. Why is Aaron Wan-Bissaka so bad? What is the coaching staff doing with him? I just think Aaron Wan-Bissaka is not capable of doing what Erik ten Hag is wanting to do with his team, right? He can't attack. Defensive wise, I mean, look, I used to always, when I compared Dalot and Aaron Wan-Bissaka, it was always like Dalot is incredible, obviously, incredible in comparison to Aaron Wan-Bissaka at getting forward, and Aaron Wan-Bissaka is incredible at defending in comparison to Dalot. But Dalot has absolutely been our most improved player this season. He is unbelievable. He's been so good. But no doubt this guy can't keep playing as many games as he is, right? And we do need to go out there and get a right back. And we can delve into some stats right now. Some simple ones if we compare. Here we go. We'll compare if we go off of some defensive stats here between Frimpong and Aarons. And we can look at, they've played a similar amount of matches, so you can obviously compare them. So obviously, I'm aware there's very different leagues. Obviously, Aarons plays for Norwich in the Championship, and Frimpong plays in the Bundesliga. But if you look at something like defensive duels won, Frimpong with 61% and Aarons with 60%. So not much to obviously differ that kind of way. And this is I think this is the big thing. We can actually just kind of go to relevant on position on this. I actually think that Fred can do a job at left back in a pinch. I'm not sure what you mean. How much would Frimpong cost in my opinion? I mean, this is the thing. There's a difference between how much he should cost and how much he will cost, right? I think realistically we shouldn't be paying more than like 15, 20 million max for Frimpong. You're looking at Max Aarons for 10, but I think Frimpong attacking wise will be better than Max Aarons. And we can look at, if we look at dribbles per 90 here, Max Aarons 3.48 and Frimpong absolutely slams him out of the park, more than doubles it with 8.07. It's night and day. And he's Frimpong's having 54% successful dribbles as well. So, you know, the comparison with them is, for me, Frimpong will be unbelievable at going forward and be that attacking output option, especially in the games against low block sides where he can, whether it's underlap, overlap, he's gonna be very, very good at that, right? Whereas I actually think that defensive wise, there will be some improvement needed. Improvement needed to be done on him, and Erik ten Hag, I'm sure, will be comfortable in doing so. But Max Aarons might be the opposite, and going forward, he's not so good as Frimpong, but defensively he is that little bit better. It'll be very, very interesting to see. We can look at some other stats here. If we go for key passes per 90, Max Aarons is 0.47, Frimpong is 0.66. Crosses per 90, Aarons is just over 2, Frimpong is just over 3. And accurate crosses as well, Frimpong is 40%, Max Aarons is 35. I mean, look, in terms of attacking options for that right back position, and look, I feel like a fullback is the new kind of trend in football. I feel like, you know, when I grew up playing football, everyone obviously wanted to be a striker, and times have changed now. You know, no one really wanted to be a fullback. It was I mean, Jamie Carragher's right. No one grew up wanting to be a Gary Neville. As harsh as that is to say, it's kind of true, because you were only a fullback if you were a failed centre back. Really, back in the day, it wasn't that. That was just the stereotypical case. But now it's completely changed. The fullback position is, especially in modern football, is such a cool position to play. You're basically another version of a winger if you play in the right system. You can be a centre mid. You can play, you know, you look at Dalot, that inverted wing back role. He's basically playing centre mid. He's playing right wing at times. He's playing right mid. He's finding himself and shooting and crossing opportunities. You know, it's such an exciting position to be in. And I think yeah, just Kevin, or a failed winger. Yeah, I mean that used to be the case. But no, I think that, you know, being a fullback is a very, very exciting exciting position to play in nowadays. And yeah, you just, I mean, I know Trent isn't having a very, very good season. A lot of people are saying defensive wise he's rubbish, but I mean, attacking output wise, in terms of passing, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if in the near future he actually does move into like a centre mid position, whether he plays that kind of 8 or 6 role. I wouldn't be surprised, because I think he did play at youth level. And look, Dalot, that's why it's so exciting and so hard to almost say, because Dalot is only 23 or 24, still very, very young. Do you also bring in another young right back? You know, do you almost need to go out there and find an older right back, just that's willing to play kind of every 3 games or every 4 games, or just get minutes here and there? Because bringing in another young fullback is obviously someone that you've got. Obviously, it's competition for Dalot, and it's obviously what you want, healthy competition. But I just think it's a tough. It'll be a tough situation for Ten Hag to deal with, in the sense that he's got a young Dalot that's playing out of his skin, who obviously want to be playing every single game. And say Frimpong or even Aaron's comes in, I think Frimpong would want to start more than Aaron's. Obviously, the kind of step up from Championship to Premier League will need some adapting. Obviously, some step up from the Bundesliga to the Premier League is going to need some adapting as well. Wait, is Dani Alves still available? Yeah, go and get Dani Alves. Why not? Might as well get Mike on while you're at it. Now, a lot of people in the comments actually as well, Wan-Bissaka deserves a chance. I look, I can't lie. When Wan-Bissaka signed, I thought he was actually ledge. I thought he was really good defensive wise. Obviously, attacking wise, you can tell that, you know, he's not the greatest when it comes to attacking. He can't really cross. His passing, or kind of longer passing, other than like 5 yards back to Harry Maguire, isn't very good. And it's just not what Ten Hag wants. Whether you think he should deserve a chance or not, it's just not what Ten Hag wants. Quite obviously, it's not what he wants. He doesn't. I'm not even sure the situation, what's going on with him. I'm not sure if he's injured or just out of favour. I really would not be surprised if he goes in January. I mean, we should have let him go in the summer, really, but obviously that would have meant we would have had to have bought another right back. Saw a comment just there from Ryan. Trippier would have been perfect. Look, Trippier. I mean, when we were linked with him, that again divided opinion. A lot of people weren't interested on Trippier. A lot of people. I mean, I wasn't too keen. I'll be honest with you, but I hadn't watched him play for Atletico Madrid. So again, I mean, I'm pretty sure he won the league out there with Atletico Madrid, right? So yeah, I mean, for me, Trippier obviously would have been a great right back. And again, I kind of related to a little bit like Eriksen. When we were linked with Eriksen, and I remember being on a show with Mark, one of my very first shows actually, and I said, like, you know, how much of a first team player can he actually be? And by God, has he has he proven me and I imagine a lot of other people wrong, and maybe Trippier would have done the same. I just think that we definitely 100%, to round this off, to round the show off, guys, we 100,000,000% need a right back. And I'm surprised we didn't strengthen that in the summer. I thought, obviously, we strengthened the left back position. I thought the right back position was going to be the obvious one, and we obviously went with the left back. Fair enough, but January is going to be such an important transfer window, not only for Manchester United, but for obviously the likes of Chelsea. They'll probably go out and spend ridiculous money again. I'm sure Liverpool will look to strengthen, whether it's midfield, attack, defence, whatever. I'm sure that, well, Man City don't really need to do anything. I'm sure that maybe Newcastle will go out there and get something as well. If Arsenal have got any sense, they'll go out there and get some new talent in. Definitely, if they're still top of the Premier League by then, because they'll definitely want to keep that momentum going. So it's going to be a very, very, very tough part of the Premier League season, 100%. We're going to have to see who obviously comes back. Hopefully everyone comes back fit. I pray everyone comes back fit. Casemiro, Martinez, Eriksen, if Rashford obviously goes, if Martial somehow goes, all these, Maguire even, we do need a strong squad for after the World Cup. And yeah, it's going to be very tough, but definitely top 4 is achievable, guys. I do agree with what you're saying. But yeah, we're gonna end the show there. Brilliant show this morning. Really, really enjoyed it. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Yeah, we're on 497 likes. Can we, before we end the stream? I'm not going to end the stream until we get to 500 likes. Can we do it? Can we do it? But yeah, no, for me, top 4. It's not a must, in my opinion, but it is definitely achievable and definitely something that we can go out there and get, especially if we strengthen in January. There we go, 500 likes. Really, really appreciate it. If you're not already, do hit that subscribe button. As I say, appreciate everyone for tuning in, and yeah, appreciate it. Really loved it. Thank you very much. And yeah, I'll see you, or we will see you for I believe an 8 p.m. show tonight. I don't think there's any football. Oh no, there'll be a watch along or something tonight, right? There's Champions League football on. It'll be on that football. Yeah, I think it will be. Trying to think who's playing. There'll be some decent games. I think Spurs are playing. So yeah, obviously stick around for later on tonight. It'll probably start around 7, 7:15, something like that. Mark will be doing a watch long. So yeah, catch you guys soon. Thank you very much. See you.